come to Limerick today, to the Gaelic grounds, and we are at the Munster Senior Football Final, where it is Cork who expect to be going further against the Clare team, hoping for another big day out like their hurlers gave them last night, and that great excitement in the game that we watched last night. And here's the new Respect initiative taking place before the provincial finals today, where we have the chairman of the Munster Council meeting with all of the players and the mascots and the officials to acknowledge their part in this big day here in the Munster Senior Football Final. We have been told there are late changes on the Cork team because of injuries. Let's go to Mike Finnerty for the team lineups.
Thanks, Matt. Conor Coonahan has indeed made two late changes to the team that started against Kerry in the semi-final. Owen Cotter and Fintan Gould both start in place of Graham Canty and Paddy Kelly. It's still a strong and imposing line-out, though, packed full of All-Stars and All-Ireland medal winners like full-back and stand-in captain Michael Shields. Aidan Welch is named at midfield but may operate closer to goal, while Nicholas Murphy, who was a Cork sub when they played Clare back in 1997, could go in the opposite direction. 8 of these players started against Clare last May. This is the first Clare team to line out in a Munster final for 12 years, and Micheál McDermott has made 2 changes in personnel and a few positional switches to the side that beat Limerick. Battle-hardened full-back Barry Duggan starts for the first time this year, and number 10 Shane Brennan is also recalled to add some pace to the half-forward line. Closer to goal, Rory Donnelly has recovered from a calf injury to start at corner forward, where he'll work in tandem with David Tubridy. Alan Clohessy is the captain at number 12. And on the respective benches, we can expect to see Cork bringing in the likes of Mark Collins and Barry O'Driscoll, while David Russell and Graham Kelly should see some action at some stage for Clare.
David Brady, everybody is saying Cork should win this game, but what do you expect out of the game?
What I expect, I was here at the Limerick game. I was very impressed with Clare as a football team. The likes of Gary Brennan and David Tubridy, these guys will be known after this evening. They're good footballers. Clare need to dominate the pace of the game. They need to say, right, let's lift the tempo, let's bring it down. But I said before, Matt, the 20-minute mark is going to dictate whether this game is won by 20 points by Cork or less than 10. But I do think Cork are going to win it.
What do you expect, Liam?
Well, I think Cork's it's a very important game for Cork, because it's the only game they're going to have in a 7 or 8 week period in the middle of this championship, which is a crazy situation. So whoever they were playing today, they need a high level of performance, and that's probably not going to be good news for Clare. So you would expect Cork to win between 5 and 10 points.
Is a day like this a good day for Cork, putting down a marker as serious All-Ireland contenders?
I think it's too early for that, Matt. The big thing here is where Clare, I think, are going to get caught as their bench. You know, look at the strength of Cork, like the couple of changes Cork had to make and the quality they can bring in. That's the big difference. And it's a 20-man game. You know, it's a cliche now, but it is a 20-man game. And the quality that Cork still have after making 3 changes, the quality and depth they still have, they could make 5 substitutions there again today, and it wouldn't matter. You know, they can bring in quality.
But the big thing is that 2009 was the last time Cork won the Munster final. This is uncharted territory towards them. Usually it's Cork and Kerry, and it's a big day out. You know, it's important that Clare get the start, but it's important that they don't fall apart, throughout the first half. But I do hope it's a good game, because I do believe that the open draw it's a must in Munster, because it's great to see the likes of Clare playing today.
Hiding here today for Clare would be the worst case scenario, Matt, because we spoke about it before, about the building that's going on with Tipperary and the weaker teams, and Clare, I would just hope that they can hit the ground running and just get to half time with a kind of within touching distance, and then if the crowd got behind them, we could have a good second half.
Dara's praying the Cork don't win. He just wants to see Clare win it.
But it would be the worst.
Obvious?
I mean, a big Cork victory would be the worst scenario for Conor Coonahan as well, because as I said, he needs to know what every single player in the Cork jersey, where they're at. Are they on form? Are they capable of going into the quarterfinals and really taking on the championship, the second half of the championship, when things are going to get serious? Now walking into the quarterfinals with their hands in their pockets, as they did against Mayo last year.
But the big thing is, the likes of Owen Cadigan is playing today for one reason. He knows that if he plays well today, he's got a place for the bank holiday August weekend, and that's what these players realise. There's a panel there. If I don't play well, I won't be starting when the big boys are coming out to play in the
And did they show when they won the National League, particularly against Mayo, that there is a strength and determination and purpose to carry forward this year to make up for last year's disappointment?
They have all that. Cork have all that. I mean, there is a superbly talented group of players. Cork's game is all about confidence. When they have that confidence, they can play it on high. When they don't, they can sit down.
I think the Cork, I suppose, it's a big year for Cork, because they've been kind of called a nice team over the last couple of years, but it's a hard edge, these Cork fellas, and they're so big, they're big, strong men.
Dara, I'm going to have to stop you there, because we have to stop for Or on the Vian.
Heart in the Ronnie coin, favoid vetser, shantir ar sheen shar fasta, niog far fwintira nof wentron, anocht savoir na bwyd legan ar elchan bosh no sil legan asgreg fwylog na biler shall live connig
Let's go over now to our commentary team of Paul Early and first Mike Finnerty.
Thanks, Matt. Well, it's hard to believe 20 years have passed since Martin Daly put the ball in the Kerry net and Clare were Munster champions for the last time. But here we are 20 years on with Clare bidding to make history all over again. There's the referee, Eddie Kinsella from Laois, who took charge of the meeting of Cork and Clare in the championship last year as well. That day, Cork running out comprehensive winners and overwhelming favourites to win again today and go back to Croke Park on the August bank holiday weekend as Munster champions. But for Clare, it's a new dawn, a new day, as they try to produce the game of their lives and make some new memories in front of a crowd of in and around 8,000 people here at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. The first of this summer's provincial football finals is up and running. It'll be Cork to play from right to left in the first half here at the Gaelic grounds. Those two late changes, in case you missed them, both Cork captain Graham Canty and Paddy Kelly ruled out of the match. Their place is taken by Owen Cotter and Fintan Gould. Here's Aidan Welch wearing 9, but he started at full forward and he slots that over the bar confidently. The perfect start for Cork.
Yeah, very composed start for Cork. Traditionally, Cork always bring Nicholas Murphy out to midfield to contest the throw-in. They put in Aidan Walsh inside and full forward. He was in the end of that first passage of play and kicked a lovely point. Now Aidan Walsh has switched to midfield and Nicholas Murphy is back in at full forward.
So a first touch and a first kick out for the Clare goalkeeper, Joe Hayes. He's looking for Gary Brennan. They rate him very highly in Clare and he claims his first possession with some ease and a free to Clare. Clare players to watch, number 8 Gary Brennan and this man David Tubridy, compared by the Clare coach Liam McHale during the week to one Maurice Fitzgerald is David Tubridy, as this shot comes in from Shane McGrath and that is wide on his own side. But Paul, goes without saying, a good start, absolutely imperative for Clare.
Absolutely, yeah. And I suppose when you talk to Division 3 and Division 4 teams, Mike, who play against the top teams, they say the key difference is the pace at which the game is played. That the top teams obviously play it at a much higher pace, and often the lower division teams struggle to match that pace, and often skill errors occur which are punished by the top team. So Clare will have to try and play at a high pace today and make sure that they execute the skills at a very high level.
Looks like Cork are starting Noel O'Leary at centre back and Kieran Sheehan has moved to centre forward in the absence of Canty and Kelly, as Michael Shields, stand-in captain for Cork today, tries to make some ground. And here is Fintan Gould, missed out in the win over Kerry due to an infection in his foot, but fit again. And here's Donncha O'Connor, first chance for him to turn his man and take him on. Kevin Harnett is trying to make up the ground and back goes Alan Classy, and the Clare captain tidies that up. This is Enda Coughlin as Clare get some men back into their own half. And now on the ball is the centre forward Shane McGrath again. This Clare team operating in Division 4 for the last 5 seasons, narrowly missed out on promotion during the spring. But the win over Limerick in the semi-final last month has given them great confidence as Tubridy shoots from just inside the 45-metre line. Little or no breeze to talk about, but drags that shot across the face of the goal and wide.
Yeah, it's going to be very important that Clare get on the score sheet very early, just to give them a bit of confidence. The first score is going to be very important, but it's also refreshing to see that they're not playing with a mass defensive system. They're going man on man, and I think that's the way they've played all through the league and all through the last couple of. They're right not to change it at this stage. And they may reduce, obviously, Cork's scoring threat by doing that, but it's also very difficult to get the required number of scores in the other end of the field.
A lot of space on this near side for Kieran Sheehan. He was lost by Gordon Kelly, who was trying frantically to make up the ground. Can't get there, and Sheehan takes his point. Gordon Kelly just switching off the quick free from Paddy Kassan, and you just can't give Sheehan that kind of room.
No, and it's great to see Kieran Sheehan back after a very bad injury last year. Fine young player. Big game player as well. His movement, his pace is very good, and he's very effective off his left foot, as we saw with that very good score.
Joe Hayes just scanning the horizon, gives a little look towards Gary Brennan, and it is indeed dropped down on top of the midfielder from Clondegad. Breaks fortunately for Clare. Gordon Kelly though lost the ball in the tackle, and away goes Paul Kerrigan. Speed to Byrne. He's left Kelly for dead. He's away from McGrath. Kerrigan just drops it short. It had score written all over it, but Kerrigan just a little bit casual, and Clare get off the hook. Joe Hayes plays a little bit of football with it. Man who came deep to take it off him is the centre forward Shane McGrath. Plays his club football with Thomas Davis in Dublin. He will be pulling the strings. Just crosses the halfway line, spots the run inside of Rory Donnelly, being picked up by Owen Cadigan, who got a good strong hand to that. Missed the Cork hurlers win in the qualifiers last night to play in this game, did Owen Cadigan, but he's given away a free, and Cork have to defend now. A real gilt-edged scoring chance for Clare.
Yeah, that was very good defending actually by Owen Cadigan. Was caught a little bit behind the player, behind Rory Donnelly inside, but got that right hand across. But it's important free opportunity here for Clare just to put them on the scoreboard. Cork 2 points ahead at this stage, and very important for Clare to get off the mark.
So David Tubridy from Doonbeg has this chance to get Clare off the mark and just settle those early nerves. Nice and easy. Clare up and running in the 6th minute, and that will do their confidence, Tubridy's confidence, no harm at all.
Absolutely. There we see Paul Kerrigan moving in. Should have got a score there a little bit earlier, and that's the difficulty that Clare are going to have to contend with Kieran Sheehan and Paul Kerrigan. Lightning pace in the half-forward line, and they've got to work very, very hard to contain those two players.
Alan Quirke's booming kick-out missed by all the midfielders. First man to react, Enda Coughlin. Started in the half-forward line against Limerick. Back in the defence today. That's a very loose hand pass from Shane McGrath. And big Alan O'Connor, the quintessential midfield powerhouse, is onto it in a flash. Taking the return from Sheehan. Not a noted scorer, O'Connor instead flicks it inside to Colm O'Neill. Lawrence Healy trying to close down the angle. O'Neill gets the shot away. Puts plenty of height on it. Gives the umpires a bit of work to do. And that's Cork's first wide, coming from the boot of Colm O'Neill.
Yeah, and Clare will have to work hard at eliminating those lazy hand passes, because good teams like Cork, teams that are in contention to win the All-Ireland, are going to punish them quite severely. And on that occasion, Colm O'Neill with his non-preferred, I suppose, right foot, even though he's very effective off both feet, just kicking it slightly wide.
Joe Hayes just trying to mix up the kickouts this time, looking for the experienced Ger Quinlan. Again though, Cork break it, and Sheehan, quickest to react, has the strength to hold off his man, steadies down and fires it over the bar. That's 2 points for Kieran Sheehan, getting into his stride very early and very ominously for Clare.
Yeah, and Kieran Sheehan has taken up the centre half forward position. Paddy Kelly obviously out with injury today, and he's moving across the line, picking up a lot of those breaks. Took his earlier score from the left-hand side. That time took it from the right-hand side, so he's working very hard, and I see Clare are already making a switch.
But Clare warming up for this Munster final with recent challenge matches against Offaly and Galway. They drew with Offaly, beat Galway. Hoping today to put in a big performance, see where that takes them. And all of their players being set individual targets and goals that would be reassessed at half-time. Right now they're staring down a 2-point deficit as Owen Cadigan comes breaking out from corner back. First chance for him to his legs. Here's Sheehan again. He's been a central figure in these first 8 or 9 minutes. Colm O'Neill drifting out from the corner, looking for the diagonal ball for Murphy. Lovely touch to O'Connor, trying to make an angle, and Gordon Kelly in the right place at the right time to get his body in the way, clear his lines. But Cork so quickly turning defence into attack and very nearly opening Clare up. Cadigan with a hard shoulder challenge on Shane McGrath. This is Ray Carey and now Noel O'Leary. So much physical power in that Cork defence. As that ball is fly kicked out over the line by John Hayes just to relieve the pressure. But real goal chance here, Paul.
Yeah, that was a crucial save by Gordon Kelly. He did exceptionally well to get down and block the kick, but wonderful flick pass there from Nicholas Murphy down to Donnacha O'Connor. And Cork have played some sparkling football at times this year and have mixed the short running game, which has been their traditional game over the last couple of years, with the long kicking game to very, very good effect. And Nicholas Murphy caused the Kerry defence a lot of difficulty in the semi-final, and he started well again today.
Colm O'Neill, again, he switches corners, bringing Healy with him. Kick again, though, lacks the power to carry over the crossbar. Another let-off for Clare. Incidentally, one of the features of Clare's performances this year, the fact that they've only conceded 3 goals in 11 matches. Joe Hayes and his defence don't tend to get opened up all that often. But, of course, the calibre of opposition today, one of the best. O'Leary. That Cork half-back line slamming shut. Aidan Welsh looking powerful early on. Sheehan again, plenty of movement inside, spots the run of Donnacha O'Connor, so too did the goalkeeper Joe Hayes. Pass was overhit, and that will go down as Cork's second wide.
Yeah, and early on again, the first 10 minutes, Clare have had 3 or 4 unforced errors, hand passes that have gone straight to Cork players. Cannot afford to do that. Haven't been punished on this occasion. In contrast, Cork, you know, haven't missed the target on any occasion, although they have dropped a couple of shots into the goalie's hands, which I suppose sparks a little bit of a lack of concentration in the forward line.
There's the Clare Micheál McDermott, native of County Cavan, but very well established now as a manager here in County Clare. Managed Kilmurray of Brecon to an All-Ireland club final appearance a couple of years ago. Also in charge of the Monaleen club footballers in Limerick these days. Watching as Cork open up Clare, but good recovery by Ger Quinlan. Needed that last gasp interception. As away goes the Clare cornerback, Kevin Harnett, from just out the road in Meelick, a junior club. Alan Clohessy has room to swing the boot, drives it towards goal, but didn't get hold of it at all. The shot was wild, and Clare still to score from play.
Yeah, wonderful fetch in the middle of the field there from Gary Brennan. A terrific midfielder. I think they rate him very highly down in Clare, and we don't see too many clean catches in the modern game around the middle of the field, so should celebrate those that we see in a Munster final today.
With so much expected of Gary Brennan in this match, he is the main source of primary possession. Ger Quinlan, his partner in crime, getting on the ball this time. Here is Gary Brennan, just bracing himself for the challenge of Alan O'Connor. Also managed to evade Pádraig Cassan, and now herring away goes his brother Shane Brennan. Latest man to come into the line is Rory Donnelly, making a beeline for goal, and Donnelly flicks it up and over the bar. It's back to a one-point game, and Rory Donnelly, who had to win a fitness battle to play in this game. He's had a problem with his calf all week long, finishing off a move that was started by that man, Gary Brennan.
And that gives a huge lift to his teammates there. A hard tackle from Pádraig Cassan, and he knocked him back on his backside and down the field, and a great score for Rory Donnelly. And at this stage, 12 minutes into the game, Clare will be very happy with the scoreline.
Superb take by Aidan Welsh in the middle of the field. Eddie Kinsella, the referee, plays the advantage, and Cork only too happy to take it. Cotter O'Connor, and now Fintan Gould just strolling up along that right-hand side. He's gone for it. Superb goal from Fintan Gould. Cork at their very best. Nice, simple, devastatingly effective.
Yeah, great catch again from Walsh in the middle of the field, but it was the running game, the runners coming from deep. On this occasion, Fintan Gould solos with his right, he can kick the ball with his left. He's a terrific left-footed kicker as well. That was a fantastic finish into the roof of the net. No chance for the goalkeeper.
So first blood to Cork. Brilliantly taken goal from Fintan Gould, and now Clare find themselves 4 points behind, and Cork exactly where they wanted to be. Well, that score has stunned the travelling Clare supporters into silence. Roughly 3,000 or 4,000 of them have made the journey across the county boundaries here to the Gaelic grounds, as Colm O'Neill gets out in front of Healy again. Nobody coming to take it off him. O'Neill a little bit isolated, eventually buys himself some time and space. He struck it well, and that's gone over the bar. O'Neill's first, just to supplement that goal from Fintan Gould, and the daylight starting to open slowly but surely.
Yeah, terrific score. Actually, very good defending by Lawrence Healy as well. He didn't allow him go by. He made himself very big, put him under pressure to switch it from left to right foot, and in the end, a terrific score from Colm O'Neill, who, again, like a lot of the Cork players, the high-quality players, can kick off both right and left.
Well, all of Cork's tally of 1-4 have come from open play, as the favourites to regain the All-Ireland senior title start to open their shoulders a little bit, but still very early days. Free to Clare, and they work the ball to Michael O'Shea. Gets his shot away despite the challenge of Ray Carey. That looks good. And that's the first of this Munster final for Michael O'Shea from the St. Senan's Kilkee club. Well taken score, an inspirational score, and a good response.
Yes, and they always say it's very important to get the first score after you concede a goal, and that occasion Michael O'Shea kicks it with his left foot, and the full forward line, the whole full forward line, Clare full forward line have scored now at this stage, so they'll be confident inside.
Possession claimed by Ger Quinlan, a man who was in the Clare squad when they last played in a final back in 2000. He has an awful lot of football played for County Clare, has Ger Quinlan. This is Tubridy from way out the country. An ambitious kick, just sails across the face of the goal. That's 4 wides for Clare. David Tubridy trying everything he knows to try and get on the ball, get into the game. But he's got Michael Shields for company, and he's a very hard man to lose.
It certainly is. Michael Shields is a very good full-back, but Clare will be looking to get as much ball as possible into David Tubridy today. He's a quality player, he's a fantastic full-forward, and want to get him on the ball as much as possible.
Nice little touchdown from Fintan Gould, but he can only find a Clare man, and Gordon Kelly, who made a break like this against Limerick, goes again, flicked inside to Shane Brennan. It's opened up for him, back off the post, chance still there for Tubridy. Blocked by Ray Carey, but Clare dig it out, back to O'Shea with the snapshot, and that's gone over the bar. 2 points in as many minutes for Michael O'Shea from Kilkee, and that was much, much better from Clare.
Yes, and on 2 occasions now they've got loose down this right side, punched a point the first occasion. Possible goal chance there, but Cork got back, their defence got back in numbers, and it was Clare did well to get the point on that occasion. It was an important one that they got, just to give them that extra bit of confidence from those attacks. But they'll be positive about the fact that they've opened up Cork on a few occasions, running at them down on the right-hand side.
Well, we're just approaching the end of the first quarter, and it's just that goal from Fintan Gould that separates the teams. Clare weathering that storm and playing themselves back into contention. Shane Brennan, who has forced his way into the starting 15, to Tubridy. Very handy operator, wins that ball in front of Michael Shields, and not afraid to let the Cork fullback know about it. Slips the free inside, and now it's Cork who for a moment switched off, but Clare couldn't hold possession, and Aidan Welsh breaks up that attack and feeds Kerrigan. He's got open country in front of him. driving towards the crossbar. Options right and left. Decides to slip it through to Colm O'Neill, arcing around, buying space, and he's managed to squeeze it inside the post and over. The Clare goalkeeper, Joe Hayes, disagreeing with the umpire who had made up. That's Kerrigan's second point, or O'Neill's second point rather, but he really had to work hard for it.
Yeah, a very soft point again. It was an unforced error up on the Clare forward line, a very loose hand pass that went astray. That's about the fourth I've counted, and again they're paying for those mistakes. On that occasion, Colm O'Neill again kicking it with his right foot. Clare have got to stop giving away the easy ball around the middle of the field, because Cork will punish them with their pace, their power and the running game that they have.
Player who's down injured, John Hayes from the Kilrush Shamrocks club, first man from the club to play in a Munster senior final since Frankie Griffin way back in 1992. And no shortage of colour and novelty about this particular Munster senior final. Cork, remember, the 100-to-1 odd favourites to win this game. Clare with everything to gain, nothing to lose, and they are having a right go at it so far, trailing by 4 points. Kerrigan lofting it in towards Murphy, trying to hold it up on the breeze, but just a little bit too much on it. And Cork, every chance they get, Paul, just trying to mix it up long and short and keep Clare guessing.
Yeah, but they've been inaccurate with their long kicking today, other than one kick which created the goal opportunity, which Nicholas Murphy flicked down to Donnacha O'Connor. They've tried to kick the long ball a couple of times since and just overhit it a little bit, but Nicholas Murphy is a big threat inside, and certainly it's an extra arm to Cork's weaponry if they can mix that short and long game, because they can also switch Nicholas Murphy and Aidan Walsh in and out and create some mismatches with smaller defenders.
So rare nowadays to see teams going at it 15 on 15, man for man. That's exactly what's happened so far as Aidan Welch drives through. Great run, super finish. That is a brilliant goal from Aidan Welch, who won that ball, drove for goal. Nothing was going to stop him, and didn't he do well?
Oh, fantastic finish, but again it's the pace of the Cork team from midfield, half-backs, midfield, right up. When they run at a defence, they are very, very hard to stop. And he controlled the ball in the run, soloed with his right foot, turned onto his left, and a terrific finish right into the bottom. Difficult for a goalkeeper to stop.
Well, Clare's big worry was the concession of goals, particularly in this first half. It leaves them with a mountain to climb again. The gap has now grown to 7. Shane Brennan to his brother Gary, trying to hold off Paddy Cassan. Still Gary Brennan, and he's flashed it across the goal. David Tubridy also close to getting a touch to knock it into the net, and Gary Brennan just knows he should have hit the target.
Yeah, fantastic opportunity there. Again down this right-hand side, which they're causing Cork a lot of difficulty with the attacks down that side. I think as he was kicking it, he probably wasn't committed to the kick as much, to the goal, to the shot, and it didn't look as if he was if he had the goal in his mind, but he was probably trying to kick it across to Tubridy, but it went off his foot and went wide.
Cork break quickly and try to turn the screw. This is Kieran Sheehan trying to loft it back off the post. Falls for Murphy, who gets up above his man, flicks it towards Donnacha O'Connor. Clare frantically trying to get back, and a good block from Lawrence Healy to get it away from danger, and the chance is gone. Gary Brennan driving it in towards Tubridy, but it was a pass more in hope than confidence, and Cork get the line ball and start the game moving very quickly again. They're trying to force the pace and the tempo. We're in the 23rd minute, and the goals from Fintan Gould and Aidan Welch have been the decisive scores so far. This is Colm O'Neill just chipping it in front of Fintan Gould, trying to spin away from Gordon Kelly. Again, the angle is very tight, and that is Cork's 4th wide and a first for Fintan Gould.
Yeah, and the Cork forwards are getting out in front of the Clare defence at every opportunity. Their movement is exceptional. Interplay, their interchange of positions is very, very good also, and making it very difficult for the Clare defenders to close them down.
Take him up the field, Carl. Take him up, take him up.
Well, the story of Cork's season so far, nothing if not impressive. Won their third successive National League Division 1 title back in April. And the manner in which they beat Kerry in the Munster semi-final would suggest they're men on a mission again this summer. They certainly have been in how they've got through the first 23 minutes here, as Alan Quirk gets a touch and sees a little bit of open country, dropping it out towards Sheehan. Gets up above John Hayes, and as soon as he lands, he's gone. Movement inside from both O'Connor and Murphy. Murphy's run was a decoy, and now it's Donegal O'Connor. Nearest Clare player to him is Lawrence Healy. Players infield queuing up. One of them, Paul Kerrigan, gets the shot away with plenty of time to spare, but doesn't manage to hit the target. And they are certainly creating plenty of chances, not taking them.
Yeah, not taking them, and there's very little wind out there. It's surprising that they're not hitting the target as frequently as they should. Kieran Sheehan is playing particularly well out in the middle of the field at this stage, or out around the half-forward line, but drifting into midfield. And when he gets ball, he accelerates away and then looks up and sprays those lovely crossfield passes, as he did on that occasion to Donegal O'Connor. But a poor miss by Paul Kerrigan under no real pressure.
Again, Gary Brennan, the intended target, and once more he claims possession. 6'4", and he got up above all comers there. Direct approach this time. Tubridy manages to lay it off to Michael O'Shea. Rory Donnelly makes a break inside, drops the shoulder, held up by Cadigan. Eddie Kinsella has given the free. Rory Donnelly, I think, wanted the advantage. Whistle had already sounded. But Rory Donnelly is dangerous when he gets the supply.
Yeah, that was a real professional foul there by Owen Cadigan. He was one-on-one, about to become one-on-one with the keeper, and you can see very, very clearly pull back on that occasion. Referee will probably give a yellow card for it, but Clare will get a 13-metre free on this occasion, but it's a poor reward really for what could have been, what was an excellent chance for a goal.
Well, they have managed to open up that Cork defence once or twice. Haven't made them pay though, as Owen Cadigan becomes the first player to be booked in this Munster final. And David Tubridy has a very straightforward opportunity to narrow the margin. That's his second point in this game, both from frees. Hit 3 points against Cork in the championship last summer. They had 10th with a point, but they'll know, Paul, that was another missed opportunity.
Certainly was, and you wonder whether a professional foul like that should be penalised with something more than a yellow card, particularly where, as I said, there's a one-on-one opportunity with the goalkeeper. But they're the rules at the moment, and at least Clare got on the scoreboard anyway, and they're 6 points behind at this stage.
Line ball to Clare. Donnelly takes it, linking up with Tubridy. Quick look up to get his bearings, just outside his range though. Easy for Alan Quirk. And this is Owen Cotter from the Douglas club. Late inclusion in the Cork defence in place of Graham Canty. Fintan Gould just drifting across the field and bringing his man with him, looking to link up with Colm O'Neill, who's under pressure from Kevin Harnett. Cork at the line ball, driven across into the scoring zone, batted away, and Gordon Kelly can take it clear. This is Ger Quinlan. Shane McGrath crossing the 65-metre line. David Tubridy has drifted a long way out from goal as Cork set their defensive screen and get organised. Shane Brennan trying his luck down along the left-hand side. Tubridy filling in as playmaker. Plenty of runs being made. He's chipping it in towards Shane McGrath, but Cork had done their homework. They tracked the run and they snuffed that out, as Kieran Sheehan has plenty of options to pick and choose from, but the pass was miscued. And Clare have it back again. A little under 8 minutes of normal time left in this first half, and it's Cork tipping along, 2 goals in front, as Clare try again to find a way through that red wall that's built across the 45-metre line. Alan Classy, the Clare captain, linking up with Gary Brennan, who'd stayed forward. Brennan has seen enough, kicks it over that defensive screen and over the bar. He is a class act, Gary Brennan, and he is really starting to impose himself. That's a fine score.
That's a terrific score from Gary Brennan, who's having a terrific game. Caught some wonderful ball around the middle of the field, a link player as well. And what me about Clare on that occasion is their composure. Cork had 8 or 9 players behind the ball. Clare didn't try to kick to a contest or to kick to 2 or 3 defenders. They worked the ball well. Clohessy gave a good pass to Brennan, and at this stage, it's 7 scores to 5. The difference really is Cork have been clinical when they've got their 2-goal chances.
Paul Kerrigan, again the Gary Owen looking for Murphy, who uses his body well, back to O'Connor, and that was right from the training ground. That diagonal ball in on top of Murphy, O'Connor feeding off him, and that's his first of the Munster final in the 29th minute, and very little Clare could do about it.
And the difference on that occasion was it was just a terrific weighted pass, just hanging in the air, allowed Nicholas Murphy just to set himself, knocked the defender out with his hips, and great catch. And if Cork can develop that, perhaps as the season goes on, that could be a very effective weapon for them later on in the championship.
Well, all of Cork's tally of 2-6 have come from open play. Good spread of scorers as well. As Clare hold possession. They have spent hours and hours being coached by the former Mayo footballer Liam McHale down at Cusack Park in Ennis, trying to work the ball down the field, hold possession, but that shot from Gary Brennan was a shot to nothing, really. And a rare error from the Clare midfielder. There is Liam McHale. Who, along with Micheál McDermott and the Clare selectors, James Foran and Michael Cahill, have done an awful lot of work in the last few years, getting Clare to this stage in their development, and this by far and away the biggest day in their tenure so far. Michael O'Shea getting out in front of Ray Carey. Ger Quinlan roaring for it and gets it. Timed his run to perfection. Quinlan from point blank range, and he's blazed it wide. Really needed to score from there.
Yeah, it was another terrific move from Clare. Gary Brennan winning the ball in the middle, spraying it out to the wing. A very good pass in from Enda Coughlin, but a poor finish again, and Clare have got to take those opportunities when they get them, just to narrow the margin, particularly coming into half-time. If they could get it to perhaps 3 or 4 before half-time, Michael, just give them that bit of going into the second half. At this stage, 6 points differential. The heads will be down a little bit because they've done well in general play out around the field, but when Cork do win ball around the middle, they're very quick to attack, as we can see here with Paul Kerrigan.
And here they go again. Kerrigan from Nemo Rangers leaves Shane Brennan for dead. He's gone past Gordon Kelly in towards Murphy, and the goal will stand. Well, Murphy ran in to apply the touch. Joe Hayes is arguing the toss. Goal's been given.
Well, I'm not sure about this goal. I think that Nicholas Murphy was in the square before the ball came in, and that's, the old rule still applies in that if you're in the square before the ball is kicked or hand passed in, well, then it's a free out. I think Nicholas Murphy, even though he came across, certainly from my point of view, he was in the square before the hand pass came from Paul Kerrigan. If we look at it here again, yeah, certainly inside, and that should have been a free out.
So a real talking point and a real hammer blow for Clare. The umpire reaching for the green flag. Eddie Kinsella, the referee from Laois, in agreement. The goal stands, but that will certainly be one for Dara, David and Liam to ponder over at half-time. Nicholas Murphy claims the goal, and all of a sudden now the gap has grown to 9 points. Paul Kerrigan clipping it in front of O'Connor. Clare dazed and confused after that score. O'Connor again drilling it towards goal, but a wild shot from O'Connor. But in a game like this, Paul, where the margins are so fine, that's a very big call.
Yeah, often the calls like that go against I suppose the so-called weaker teams in these situations, and it's a real hammer blow to Clare before the half-time. A third goal puts them 9 points behind. The heads drop a little bit going into half-time. But certainly, as I said, You know, we have the new rule in the game, which is that a player can enter the square after the ball is kicked or ball is hand passed in, but cannot be in the square beforehand.
Well, that goal means that Clare have been outscored in the last 20 minutes, 3-3 to 4 points. The goals from Gould, Welsh and Murphy doing huge damage as Kerrigan sprints through and clips that over the bar. Fine score. Kerrigan, it's his first of the match. And it now means that all 6 of Cork's forwards have scored. They extend their lead.
Yeah, and Kerrigan is causing an awful lot of damage. Again, his pace, lightning pace inside. Here we see the goal again. And there we can see Nicholas Murphy. He's certainly, no question in my mind, he was certainly in the square before the ball was fisted across from Paul Kerrigan.
So a little over a minute of normal time left in this first half, and Clare are really now under the cosh. They needed pretty much all the breaks to go their way. They needed any rub of the green they could get to stay with Cork in this match. But that goal from Nicholas Murphy really has rocked them back on their heels. Michael O'Shea looking for something, anything for Clare to bring into half-time with them. And that's the 3rd point of the match for Michael O'Shea. The finest of them all. He is moving around that forward line, dragging his man with him, trying to find space. Took on the responsibility. And now 3 clear goals between them again.
Yeah, and the Clare forward line is quite impressive. The movement is good. They're scoring, you know, they're taking most of the scoring opportunities that they're getting. They're putting the Cork defence under a lot of pressure. They said they just need to stop making those errors or basic errors around the middle of the field on their hand passes, because that's causing a lot of difficulty for them with the Cork pace in the forward line.
We'll have at least 1 minute of additional time at the end of this first half. That, incidentally, Clare's first score for some 7 minutes. They have been busy down the other end as Shields spots Kieran Sheehan. Kerrigan demands it. Instead, it slipped through towards Colm O'Neill. Kevin Harnett's trying to stay with him. O'Neill, though, has the pace and the power, but off balance, can't finish. Cork, though, when they attack, have so many options and very difficult to pin them all down.
Absolutely, and their key players are playing well in the forward line. Colm O'Neill is moving very, very well. Missed a couple of chances, but he's a big threat. Nicholas Murphy, obviously, always a threat in the air inside. Donncha O'Connor kicked a couple from play. Kieran Sheehan has kicked a couple from play. Got that great goal. Paul Kerrigan is making those runs. Kicked a good point as well. So their forward line is on fire.
Referee Eddie Kinsella has seen enough. It's half-time in the Munster Senior Football Final, and the goals have made the difference. The outsiders Clare up against it. Cork 3-7, Clare 7 points.
The Aircom Championship Challenge. Why not challenge yourself at experiencemore.ie?
Another first for the people of Colorado. Local news now, and the Blue Mountain supply train has been blocked by an avalanche. Sources say the clear-up could take days.
Coors Light, Rocky Mountain Refreshment.
Aquaspeed Pacific, the new Swiss-made waterproof watch from Rotary. Simply exceptional.
Welcome to the front row. Get to the heart of the action with a 20 times optical zoom. The new Lumix TZ30 from Panasonic, official cameras of the London 2012 Olympic Games.
Go places with the Aer Lingus multi-million seat sale. Get up to 50% off millions of seats to the winter sun and sensations across Europe, Britain and the USA. There's a seat going with your name on it. So book now at airlingus.com.
Life doesn't come with a schedule, but even when you've been up all night, you still make time, no matter who's counting on you. Caring takes strength. And sometimes it takes Panadol. Panadol Extra is specially formulated to fight tough pain fast. It can give 30% more pain-relieving power, and it can get to work in as little as 10 minutes, but won't irritate your stomach. Caring takes strength. Panadol Extra.
Channing Tatum, Alex Pettyfer, Matthew McConaughey star in Magic Mike.
Are you shaving your line?
It is not what it looks like.
In cinemas July 11th.
To help you get ready for the digital switchover, every home will be getting the Going Digital booklet.
Visit the website or low call 1890 940 980. The countdown is on.
The Premier League fixtures have been announced, and this season, you can be part of the action. You could win a fantastic trip for two to Old Trafford to see United take on one of their great rivals. For your free chance to win this amazing prize, free text United to 50015. That's United to 50015.
Some of the world's finest courses are here, waiting for you. Are you up to the challenge? Short breaks start from just £79 per room.
With Duracell Power Check, you'll know you'll have the power to never miss a golden moment. And now, for every promotional pack bought, download 2 events from London 2012, the official video game of the Olympic Games.
The same hoarse voices, the same clenched fists, the same words uttered that some sitters missed, the same soaring highs, the same crashing lows, the same oh yeses, the same oh nos, the same old characters, the same place in the stands, the same mad passions. We're the same. Fans. Championship every Monday in the Irish Examiner.
The taste of pure Irish butter, altogether irresistible.
SuperValu, proud sponsors, real supporters of the GAA Football All-Ireland Championship.
Never mind. And so in the Munster Senior Football Final, Kieran Sheehan, early point from Cork. Rory Donnelly for Clare, and then the goals that have made the difference. Fintan Gould with Cork's first goal on the run. Then Aidan Walsh did it coming from midfield. And a third goal has given Cork a 9-point lead, 3-7 to 7 points at half-time. Well in control, all of the Cork scores coming from play as well. Clare may be disappointed that they perhaps haven't done better with some of the possession that they have had. But let's have a look at some of the action now from the first half, and let's have a look in particular at the third goal, because there was some controversy as to whether a goal which was very damaging to Clare should have been allowed or not. What do you think, Dara?
Looking at the replays here, it probably shouldn't have been allowed, but the problem here is that all 3 goals came from runs down the middle. Clare's defence is wide open. Now the ball is played there. Nicholas Murphy does look to be in the parallel, in the small rectangle.
Now the old rule, just Liam, if you go through what the old rule is and the new rule in relation to the square ball.
Well, there's an awful lot of confusion, and even amongst our own panel here in terms of between the old rule and the new rule, so I'll admit to that. But irrespective of the rules, we also thought that Nicholas Murphy, you know, that the ball had crossed the line before Nicholas Murphy touched it. So on that basis alone, the goal shouldn't have stood.
I think the ball was over the line before Nicholas touched it, but the new rule is that the player cannot be inside the square until the final pass is played. So the final pass was coming from the outside, but Nicholas was in the square then.
The only thing about it, Matt, though, is, look, in that kind of a situation, again, it's another rule that we have in the GAA that it's difficult to police that. I mean, like, the referee's a split second to make a decision there and that. Like, if I was refereeing that, you'd probably give it.
But what about the umpires? It's not where the umpires can come in and do it.
What about the umpires?
Well, one, the umpires should be actually on the line to see that it across the line before Nicholas Murphy got a hand to it. And two, they have to show responsibility and say, look, I don't think it was a goal.
Let's have a look at the other Cork goals, because Liam, very much was down to their ability to run at the Clare defence.
Yeah, we said beforehand that, you know, we thought Clare might try to play an extra man or two, and they haven't done that. They've had an orthodox formation, and you see Fintan Gould, you know, ran through them, literally ran through the defence. It was a brilliant shot to the top corner of the net. But, you know, Cork scored 3 goals in that half. They can score another 3 or 4 goals in the second half unless Clare change their formation.
How many times, boys, have we seen that the Cork team gets 4 and 5 opportunities to solo? That's 13 and 14 steps. You shouldn't get that in inter-county football.
OK, we will talk more when we come back after this.
A financial plan for every fan. Ulster Bank, proud sponsors of the GAA Football Championship.
Life is a series of challenges. One of these challenges is that finance seems out of reach because you feel the banks aren't lending. At Bank of Ireland, we have credit available and we want to lend. In fact, we need to lend. Our business depends on it. So while times are tougher than before, we'll do everything we can to help you on your way. Bank of Ireland. For small steps, for big steps.
Been announced, and this season you can be part of the action. You could win a fantastic trip for 2 to Anfield to see Liverpool take on one of their great rivals. For your free chance to win this amazing prize, free text Liverpool to 50015. That's Liverpool to 50015.
Free Wi-Fi, charging points and real comfort on board. Someday air travel may be this good. Fly Expressway from Bus Éireann and connect to every corner of Ireland.
Yorkie. Man fuel for man stuff.
I remember searching for a really fun place.
There are bad starts, false starts, weak starts, but Olympians always strive for a great start. Every match and every morning, Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. Designed for a comfortable shave even against the grain. Its microcomb guides hair for its thinner blades to cut close. Get your great start with Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. And try the full lineup of Gillette products.
A refreshing shot of ice cubes being tickled by Kopparberg mixed fruit. Or drowned. But we prefer tickled. Kopparberg, first drink refreshment.
Aircom Championship Challenge at experiencemore.ie. The Aircom Championship Challenge. Why not challenge yourself at experiencemore.ie?
Ulster Bank, an official sponsor of the GAA Football Championship, want to send you and a friend to Croke Park for a semi-final of your choice. The prize includes a pair of tickets, one night's hotel stay and dinner for two. It's all thanks to Ulster Bank. To be in with a chance of winning this prize, answer this question. Who did Kerry beat in last year's Munster football final? A. Clare, B. Limerick or C. Cork? Text GAA to 57199 and answer the question returned. You need to be 18 or over to take part. Terms and conditions apply.
So Cork have a 3-goal advantage, but Clare did have their goal opportunities in the first half, some of which they missed and others which they were prevented from taking. Let's have a look at this one, Liam. What do you believe would have been an appropriate punishment for what Owen Cadigan did there?
Well, I mean, Clare had 4 or 5 really, half chances you'd call them. This was probably the best of them where, Kenny just slips inside Cadigan. Now, it's a cynical foul. It's a smart foul if you're a Cork man, but it's a cynical foul.
Yeah.
And, it really did deprive Clare of a goal that they badly needed at that stage.
So is a yellow card an appropriate response
for something
to that?
like that? If it happened 60 yards away, no. I still got to say no when it happens 10 yards, 15 yards from goal. It's frustrating for Rory Donnelly and the Clare boys, but
no, but hold on.
It
happens in front of the goal. It happened when there was a goal-scoring opportunity. So they got a free, they got a point. Is a yellow card enough?
It is. And you know what? If they want to bring in the sin bin back in again, you say, well, maybe that could be the point. But
Would that do it? A sin bin 10 minutes on the sideline?
It's fair in that there was a goal chance there, definitely. But, Owen Cadigan had to make a split-second decision. He knew that he was only going to get a yellow card in worst-case scenario. So, he made that call right there and then. So sin bin would be the ideal situation for that. Unfortunately,
it's experience. That's the Cork team. They're experienced. And you know what? We'll keep these guys out of the game.
You call it experience. Others might call it cynicism.
Well, they'll probably get it from the Curry boys.
You wouldn't expect the Clare lads to do that. And we've seen that where Cork players have been slipping inside Clare defenders all afternoon. And the Clare defenders are just putting the head down and running after them. So you're not going to get that. But you do get that, and I'm not picking on teams, you do get that from the Kerrys and the Corks and the Dublins. The top teams, are elite teams, and they operate like that.
Let's talk a little bit about David Tubridy, because we built him up before the game, and you've been a little bit disappointed in the way he's played, Dara.
He just seems to be under pressure to take shots, Matt. Look, here, straight away, that's kickable, that one. But he's had 2 more chances there, where he's just really kind of struggled to get kicks on, and he's just rushing his kicks. Look, he's shelling really,
But I think he's playing quite well, Darren. He's getting out, he's making himself available for ball, you know what I mean, and he's actually given sort of options for the players around him.
We've seen one player there, Gary Brennan. He's one man that's really impressing me. He's got 4 or 5 great balls. He's made 2 or 3 burst forwards. If Clare want anything, this guy, they need to look up to him again. But again, Tubridy needs to play the ball around. The Cork guys are just going to focus on him and say, if we mark Tubridy, we'll mark Clare out.
He's getting no backing though. He's not getting any support. I mean, his feeling was outstanding there, but he's just getting no support from the rest.
Realistically, is it damage limitation for Clare at this stage?
We spoke before, Matt. Well, it is really, because we spoke before the game about goals, and look, the goals they rain through, and like David said, right through the middle. 3 goals came right through the middle. That's a cardinal offence. That shouldn't happen.
Did you see the smile on David's face when a goal came in 20 minutes? The key figure he told us in the pre-match build-up.
But that's it.
David was on the money again, wasn't he?
The thing is, guys, that it goes from a 3-point game to a 6-point game. A team like Clare can't come back from 6 or 7 points.
And you can see by the Cork team, they're smelling blood, they're tasting blood now, and they're going to keep going for goals rather than points, because they can see those chances opening up all the time for them.
Has been one of the criticisms of Cork in the past that they don't score enough goals, perhaps. Now, maybe it's an easier opposition to do it against today, but is that what they need to do on the bigger days?
Well, they're the sort of goals that we said amongst ourselves, Matt. They're the sort of goals that you see in the training ground all the time. You never see those in really high-level competitive matches. So, Cork will score all the goals they like of that nature this afternoon. But they're not going to get those chances in the All-Ireland quarter-finals.
It went back, Matt, there. We spoke about it before the game, where Liam McHale said that they were going to go out, and it was very naive. We spoke about it before, and it's shown up to be very naive. You can't go out against top quad. I mean, let's be honest, with Cork, Dublin, Kerry, and probably Donegal are the top teams. You don't leave yourself wide open like that, and that was just naive.
You have to say, look, we admit they're better than us, but we're not going to let them play in their game. We're going to put a man back, because how many times did Cork run forward, like 4 and 5 solos, 6 solos, no one near them? What you need is a man coming towards you and either taking them out or following them. Don't let them get a kind of run and goal.
The amazing thing, David, is that Micheál McDermott was looking at it and he didn't react after the first goal or the first 2 or 3 opportunities that Cork had when they ran down. So he's satisfied with what he's seen, and you'd wonder what he's looking at and why he's holding tight.
And indeed, Cork have not scored from a free, which they're not getting the frees because Clare aren't fouling them.
Yeah, we mentioned before the game, about how Clare won it in 92, and it was basically they were in their face, they were aggressive, they were tough. I mean, there were scores got in the first half there where they were 3 yards off their men. It was just too loose, man, and like against quality opposition.
You have to have a hand on the man at all times. If you give anyone, never mind their Corks or this world, if you give any of them space, they'll take points, but you need to be in their face and get a few big hits in and get the crowd behind them, because again now the Clare crowd is going to be very quiet if they don't get a score in the first few minutes.
And what about a downside for Cork? Have they been letting Clare perhaps come at them too much a little bit, getting too many scoring opportunities?
Well, the Cork defence hasn't looked fantastic. They've been pulled out of position and they've allowed space in behind them, and on 2 or 3 occasions Clare forwards and Clare defenders have moved into that space, but Clare haven't been able to move the ball fast enough.
OK, we better go back over to our commentary team of Paul Early and first Mike Finnerty.
Thanks, Matt. Welcome back. The news from the Clare dressing room is they've made 2 changes at half-time. Number 18, Graham Kelly, brother of the centre-back Gordon, he's in to replace Enda Coughlin. And they've also introduced Niall Brown, a man who plays his club football with 2 Mile House in County Kildare. And he has come in to replace Ger Quinlan. Cork unchanged, and again they've brought big Nicholas Murphy to midfield for the throw-in for the start of this second half. So the Munster Senior Football Final has 35 minutes or thereabouts to go. Cork will play from left to right in this second half, sitting on a 9-point cushion and very much in the driving seat. Kieran Sheehan, who has been in superb form all day, picks up where he left off in the first half, extends the Cork lead. That's his 3rd point from play, and he is running the game from centre forward.
A lovely pick-up from the break again from Sheehan, 3rd point, as you said, from play, Mike. But Cork usually win the throw-ins. They're so big, powerful around the middle of the field. They target that area, win the throw-in in each half, and create the good scoring opportunities. And on that occasion, a great point from Kieran Sheehan. But it's interesting, isn't it, the lads at half-time and their analysis. When you look at the scoring opportunities in the first half, Cork had 17 shots at goal, Clare had 14. Not a lot in the difference. Obviously the goals are the key differential, but Clare are creating opportunities in their forward line, working hard to open up that Cork defence and doing reasonably well.
Officially confirmed at half-time as 9,139 people here at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick, and so far so good for Cork and Conor Coonahan. Those 3 first half goals giving that slightly lopsided look to the scoreline. But Clare will battle to the bitter end. What do you think, Paul, the message will have been from Micheál McDermott and Liam McHale and the management team at half-time?
Well, I think they've changed one of the half-backs. I think they have been a bit naive in the way they've defended and their tackling. But I don't agree with bringing extra players back into defence. They haven't done that at all in their league campaign, or that hasn't been the way they've set up with the last couple of years. So trying to do that in the Munster final is probably going to be counterproductive. They might limit Cork's scoring opportunities or threats, but they're going to limit the opportunities that they get themselves up in the forward line as well.
And here is an opportunity. Gary Brennan to Tubridy. Just got a Cork hand on it. That took the sting out of the shot. And the chance goes a-begging. But Clare making the point during the week they wanted to try and get that balance right between defence and attack. They had no intention of parking the bus, so to speak, in front of Joe Hayes' goal. But unfortunately Cork have got in for those 3 goals, one of which in hindsight should probably not have stood. But in any event, here come Cork again. Gould, totally unmarked, is Donegal O'Connor. Lawrence Healy trying frantically to recover, can't get there. And O'Connor picks his point at his leisure. That's 2 from play. And each and every one of that Cork tally has come from open play. The latest from the boot of Donegal O'Connor.
Well, you can't accuse certainly the Cork forward line of not having an urgency in their play today. There was always the concern, I think, before the game that, because it was Clare, because of the Division 4 team, that they may not be as focused. But all of the forwards are playing very well. Their movement is impressive. They're crisp in their passing. Their accuracy is very good. Their incisiveness up front is impressive to watch as well.
Gary Brennan losing a boot as he contested possession there with Alan O'Connor. Conor Coonahan, this is season in charge of Cork, has delivered 2 Munster championships, 4 National Leagues and 1 All-Ireland so far. And looking again this summer to go all the way along the September road. And of course the prize and offer for the winners today, a place in the All-Ireland quarter-final as provincial champions. And real momentum heading into the knockout stages. Classy manages to find the new man in that Clare team, Niall Brown. Here he is again. Coming off the shoulder at pace is Shane McGrath. Classy continues his run. This is Gordon Kelly, flicked inside, chance of a goal. Donnelly went for it. Cork though have numbers, scooped up and back out to Tubridy, who takes the sensible option and takes his point. But yet again, Clare driving through, opening it up and creating the goal chance.
And a very good move from Clare there. 5 or 6 hand passes, different angles, players taking the ball at different angles, taking the Cork defenders out of it. A good save by, was it the goalkeeper? It wasn't the goalkeeper on that occasion. I think it was Aidan Walsh that got back. But again, you have to take those chances. Clare aren't going to get too many goal chances in this game, and you know, but it'll give them a bit of a boost that they got a score out of that.
Clare bringing that ball into heavy traffic, and Noel O'Leary, the stand-in centre-back, standing firm. And here's Kerrigan. So mobile, great balance. It's Graham Kelly who's trying to keep pace with him. But Kerrigan just moves through the gears. That landed awkwardly for Joe Hayes, does well. Seemed to run into his own man. But all's well that ends well for Clare. But Cork so effective and dangerous on the counter-attack. This is Lawrence Healy from Ennistimon. Rare chance for him to head downfield. Kevin Harnett. And already Cork funneling back, getting themselves organised, looking to protect that full back line. Graham Kelly, an all-action, no-nonsense sort of player. He was sent off against Cork the championship last year. Wins his free. McGrath. Poor ball. Right into the lap, into the arms of Owen Cadogan, and now Ciarán Sheehan. Quick look up to spot the run of Colm O'Neill, who jumps with Harnett, breaks for O'Neill. Again, he has plenty of options, steadies himself, takes aim. The umpires look longingly at it and eventually decide it had flown just outside the post. But Colm O'Neill from Ballyclaw clocks up Cork's 8th wide of this Munster final. Less than a half an hour to go. Gap stands now at 10 points. Possession claimed by Clare, and Gordon Kelly from the St. Joseph's Club in Milltown gets the advantage from the referee initially, but Colm O'Neill fouling persistently. Free given. Brennan blocked by O'Connor. Michael O'Shea gets a second chance. He has Ray Carey for company. Took the ball into the tackle. That gives Cadogan the chance to recover. Now Gary Brennan again. Shrugs aside O'Connor. Support comes from Tubridy. Very little time to work with, very little space to work with. And the shot rushed and kicked wide. But the longer the game goes on, the more Cork are pressing up on Clare, forcing them out and just upping the ante, Paul.
Yeah, and what's happening is Clare now running and carrying the ball deep into the Cork defence. And when that happens, if it's broken down or if it breaks down at any stage, there's so much space then around the midfield area that Cork can hit their fast-running half-forwards very effectively and create scoring opportunities. So when Clare attack, they've got to be accurate with all of their attacks and not give away easy ball.
Good clean catch by Ciarán Sheehan, and that puts Cork on the front foot. And Kevin Harnett has lost to O'Neill, who has one thing in his mind. O'Neill blocked on the line and deflected away. Well, a glorious chance for Colm O'Neill to surely put this game to bed. Clare hanging on by the skin of their teeth there as goal number 4 looked almost certain. Neil again, a central figure.
Yeah, central figure, and I think what's happening is in the forward line, the Cork forward line, they're winning all of the one-to-one contests at this stage. The forwards are on fire when they've been marked by their defenders. They're getting in front. They're using their power, their pace to win those contests. Clare defenders have got to just up the ante a little bit, get closer, get tighter, work that bit harder to try and prevent the ball getting to the target. The target in the forward line.
And just look where Joe Hayes was, the goalkeeper there, 50 metres plus from his own line. Thankfully it's all worked out. This is John Hayes, the wing back. To Shane Brennan, quick look up, looking for Rory Donnelly, being very tightly marked by Owen Cadigan, who's playing really good football this season. Misplaced pass, Tubridy. Little buzz of expectation and anticipation as Tubridy tries to make ground. Back to O'Shea. That's his 4th point. Well, a lot of the heat and a lot of the attention is on Rory Donnelly in the other corner. Michael O'Shea making a little bit of hay, but Cork only have themselves to blame.
Yeah, it was the first loose pass in the game from Cork, and Clare did very well, worked it well. Tubridy looking for a goal, probably could have kicked the point himself a little bit earlier, but trying to create the goal-scoring opportunity. But a good score from Michael O'Shea, who's kicked 4 points from play now. And again, if they can get the ball into that full forward line, they're a big threat inside.
But Clare have picked off the last 2 points of the match. Just helps to eat into that Cork lead. But no sign of concern or panic on the Cork bench. They are very much in control of this game as Gordon Kelly claims possession. Tubridy to Shane Brennan. Nice, neat build-up from Clare. Now, can he finish? Wide on his own side. They are almost in double figures for wides at this stage, are Clare. But still very much, Paul, sticking to the game plan, still trying to play their way back into the match.
Yes, and they're doing well around the middle of the field. Gary Brennan having a particularly good game, and they're winning breaks and attacking that Cork defence. And just a bit more composure in front of goal. And Cork actually are dropping an extra player back. We talked about, and the lads at half-time spoke about, perhaps Clare playing an extra player or 2 back. Cork are actually doing that now when Clare attack, trying to congest that area in front of Cork realise that unless Clare are going to get a goal or 2, they're not going to get back into the game, and they're preventing those opportunities as much as possible. Ray Carey dropping back a bit. Sometimes it's Noel O'Leary is playing centre back at this stage. He's dropping back in at the edge of the D as well, trying to push Clare out to the side. But Clare will be happy with the amount of possession they've won around midfield, and if they continue to do that, they'll create opportunities as the game progresses.
Brief stoppage there. Play restarts with a kick out for Cork. This one hasn't worked out though, and Shane Brennan, who's getting through a lot of work on that right wing again, is the player driving through. Back to Donnelly, under pressure, squeezes the shot away, and that's gone over the bar. Excellent score from Rory Donnelly, his second. Being very tightly marshalled by Cadigan, had to shoot instinctively, and the gap has now been pared back to 8 points.
And the crowd, you can hear the crowd as well getting behind the Clare team, and that's the 4th kick out in a row that Clare have won. They've won the break around the middle of the field, and that'll give them a huge boost of confidence.
3 points without reply now for the pretenders to this Munster crown. Clare bidding today to win just the county's 3rd provincial senior championship. Their last, of course, back in '92. On that famous day when the goals from Clancy and Daly proved decisive, as Cork's latest shot from way out the field goes sailing over. Colm O'Neill shooting off his weaker side. Very talented footballer. That's his 3rd, and he cancelled out that score at the other end immediately.
And what's impressive about Colm O'Neill today is he's winning every ball out in front. He's showing for the ball. Can't remember a ball that's gone into him where he hasn't won, and Kevin Harnett will really have to maybe try to play from the side or in front to try and prevent him showing for those balls. But yeah, Cork, every time Clare get a score, Cork go up the other end and get another score. But again, it's 13 scores to 10 at this stage. The goals again are the big difference, and you said it early on in the commentary, Mike, that Clare have only conceded 3 goals in 11 competitive games. I think, this year between league and championship. But of course, they've been playing in 4 teams. They haven't been playing against the quality of players that they're up against today, and that's the big difference.
Colm O'Neill picking up what looks like a pretty nasty finger injury as he tried to work himself into a shooting position there. And I suppose worth commenting as well, Paul, in a ground like the Gaelic grounds here in Limerick, where the capacity is up and around 49,000, quite a surreal atmosphere for a provincial final when you've got less than 10,000 people turning up.
Absolutely. I think it's very disappointing as well. The Cork fans haven't come out in numbers to support this team, which has won 3 national leagues in a row, 4 league titles in a row if you add in the Division 2 title 4 years ago. They've won an All-Ireland, they've competed in All-Ireland finals. Here they are in another Munster final, and they have very, very little support. It's disappointing. Clare, I suppose yesterday we were down at the hurling match yesterday. Fantastic support there in Ennis, and you were hoping that a lot of that crowd would come out and support the football team today. A number have, but obviously the economic conditions that we're in, it's difficult for supporters to go to a number of games, 2 games in a row.
Free from O'Neill, falls to Murphy. And the Clare full-back Barry Duggan from Cratloe had to make himself big and awkward to deflect that out for a 45. If that had gone over, it would have been Cork's first score from a free in the match. All their tally of 310 have come from play. Barry Duggan initially caught very flat-footed there, but redeemed himself. And now Colm O'Neill gets a second opportunity to extend the Cork lead, but a very unusual atmosphere here in Limerick for this provincial final. 20 minutes to go. O'Neill again hits the post, and once more there is a little bit of consternation in front of the Clare goal. Cork react quickest, recycled back out to O'Neill. Now the Clare defence rush out to pressure the kicker. O'Neill makes light of it and slots it over the bar. Brings his personal tally to 4. And that's the cue for Cork to make a change. That is the very distinctive figure of Daniel Goulding. He's in to replace Nicholas Murphy. And this is the last thing, Paul, that Clare will want to see. A player of the calibre and talent of Daniel Goulding arrive with 20 minutes to go.
Well, I suppose that's the difference between really the teams, the contenders for Sam, and the teams down the lower divisions, is the quality of the bench. And we saw with Fintan Gould coming in before the start of the game for Paddy Kelly, kicking a fantastic goal. And here we have Daniel Goulding, who had a fantastic season 2 years ago, kicked those 3 wonderful 45s in a row against Down in the All-Ireland final 2 years ago to help Cork win by a point. Great to see him back after a serious injury, and he'll be looking to cement his place for the next round of the championship.
So double scorers now in this Munster final as we head towards the final quarter. And Clare, the team who reached this stage of the competition by winning their first championship match for 4 years, are trying to stitch a move together. Kelly, just caught in 2 minds, decides to take his score. That's his first. Scored a crucial goal against Limerick in that semi-final last month. Has had his hands full with defensive duties for most of this game, but took the chance there, joined the attack, and kicks Clare's 11th point of the day.
And he loves to attack, Mike, because he's done that on a number of occasions in the second half, and he has created that extra player coming through the middle that's opened up the Cork defence on a couple of occasions, so he needs to continue to do that for the rest of the game.
Interesting to note as well that Clare have moved David Tubridy out to the half-forward line, their danger man, just to try and get him involved on the ball. And here he is, looking to set something in motion. O'Shea is the intended target. Nearest player to him is Ray Carey. O'Shea does well there just to engineer himself onto the ball. Tubridy evades the challenge of Sheehan, tries to bend it in. He struck that well, but didn't carry. Just held up in front of Alan Quirke's goal, and that allows Cork the chance to keep the ball alive and break at speed. Man in possession is Páidí Cassan from Clyde Rovers. Tracking him is Shane Brennan. Cassan was looking for Colm O'Neill, who has become the go-to man in the Cork full forward line today. Shane Brennan tries to play a 1-2 with Clahasy. Ball eventually came back to him. Now Graham Kelly, a real tear-away half-back, pursued by O'Connor, who just rips the ball from his grasp. And sometimes there really is no substitute for raw power as Cork break again. Kerrigan. Now it's Clare's turn to frantically try and chase back and plug the gaps and fill the holes. Kerrigan turning inside at his ease, at his leisure, clipping over his second point of the day. And the difference between the two teams, Paul, summed up in that passage of play.
Yeah, again, you know, when you lose the ball, as Clare did, deep in the forward line, you leave an awful lot of space outside, and the Cork half-forward line in particular, Kieran Sheehan and Paul Kerrigan, are causing untold damage because they have space. The one thing you cannot allow those two lads in particular, and indeed Colm O'Neill, is lots of space. They have pace to burn, and again, Paul Kerrigan showing that pace, lightning pace, and finishing very well.
Conor Coonahan now starting to run his bench. He's just thrown in Dennis O'Sullivan from Ballinascarthy in place of Paddy Cassan, giving him a chance to impress as Rory Donnelly wins possession, tries to drive through. Again, Owen Cadigan, who's on a yellow card, does what needs to be done to stop Donnelly in his tracks. And again, the physical strength and conditioning of Cork comes in handy as they repel that Clare attack. And Alan O'Connor gets it clear and into space towards Noel O'Leary, but the pass was telegraphed and Clare have it back again. Now, can they find a way through? Gary Brennan. This time switching out to the left-hand side. Nothing on inside. Takes the point, his second. Well, if Clare are looking for positives, the performance of Gary Brennan is most certainly one of them. But the scoreline tells you those three first-half goals from Gould and Welch and Murphy really did pull the rug out from under Clare. Has left them with a huge job of work with 15 minutes to go.
And I think they're forcing it a little bit when they're in the forward line. They're trying to create goal-scoring opportunities for on that last occasion there, while Gary Brennan got the point. Previously, Roy Donnelly had an opportunity to kick the ball over the bar, but he tried to take on the defender and lost the ball in the process. They should just take the opportunities when they get them. If there are point-scoring opportunities, take them, and then, you know, when a goal chance creates itself or presents itself, then go for it, but don't force it too much.
Another Cork sub in, James Fitzpatrick from Carbery Rangers. Alan O'Connor will play no further part in this match. Colm O'Neill again gets out in front of his man, timing his runs to perfection. Here's Goulding. First chance for him to get a glimpse of the goalpost from a very tight angle, and he kicks it over. Lovely balance, lovely technique, and a fine score from Goulding. Working his way back to full fitness, to match fitness, and there was very little wrong with that.
Yeah, fantastic score from Goulding, and now we have 6 forwards and a sub who have scored from play. All the forwards have contributed, and of course over the last few years there's been a lot of criticism of Cork forwards that they haven't been as potent as they should have been. I think a lot of that is due to the fact that the ball that was coming into them wasn't coming in as fast as perhaps it should have been. But today, with the variation in tactics that Cork are adopting, the long ball in and the running game, the ball seems to be moving a lot quicker today than perhaps we've seen in the past, and that once those forwards get the ball in early, they're going to get the scores.
Micheál McDermott, the Clare manager, feels the time is right to introduce David Russell, 34 years of age. Man who was also involved in the Clare senior squad when they last contested the Munster final 12 years ago. And the player who's withdrawn is a very disappointed looking Alan Clahasy, the Clare captain from Liscannor. Things not working out the way Clare had intended. But they have a little under 12 minutes now to put some gloss in that scoreline. Rory Donnelly, very unorthodox shooting position. Again, Cadigan was rushing out on him, but Donnelly manages to knock it between the posts. That's his third point for the corner forward from Clare.
That was a terrific ball from, I think it was Lawrence Healy coming up with the outside of the foot. Great movement from Rory Donnelly, and he has scored 3 from play. Michael O'Shea has scored 3 from play as well. David Tubridy has only scored 1 from play, but he's been on the ball an awful lot more since he's gone out into the half-forward line. So they have opened up the Cork defence when they've got the ball inside, but they just haven't got enough ball inside.
Now Michael O'Shea trying to see if there's anything on inside. Feels his only option is to try and hit Gary Brennan, who has moved into full forward now, where he's being picked up by Michael Shields. Clare feel the time has come to mix things up a little bit, bring a bit more direct play into their game. But really and truly, Paul, against the likes of Cork, favourites to win the All-Ireland, you just cannot afford to concede 3 goals in the first half.
No, that's been the real difficulty for Clare in this game, but outside of that they have played well. I keep coming back to the number of scores. It's 16 scores to 13. There's not a dramatic difference. You would have expected perhaps before the game that, you know, if we remember last year's semi-final, Munster semi-final was won 23 to 11 points. So, you know, 24 scores to 11, a massive difference from today. So Clare have made progress. There's no question about that. But clearly, the naivety, I suppose, and defensive frailties have caused them problems in the first half.
Well, the Clare crowd were demanding a penalty there, but the referee Eddie Kinsella has awarded a hot ball on the 20-metre line. He felt there was pushing and shoving from both sides. Possession won by Clare, just dropping it in, hopefully in the general direction of the Cork goal, but easy initially for Aidan Welsh. And another chance has come and gone. Dennis O'Sullivan outside to Donncha O'Connor, wearing 14 but dropping deep as Shields goes for a run and brings Fintan Gould into the game. Cork keeping Clare at arm's length. O'Connor slowing the game down almost to a walking pace as Sheehan gets involved. Noel O'Leary now. Kerrigan to inject some pace into the move. Clare have 10 men inside their own half as Sheehan winds up and has measured that to absolute perfection. 4 points from play from Kieran Sheehan, 3-14 from play for Cork. And as statements of intense go, Paul, this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it certainly is. And what is also impressive is that they are moving the ball more swiftly out of defence than they have been over the last couple of years. Now, maybe it's because of the way Clare has been set up today, but I think maybe it's also a strategy that they have to get that ball quicker into the forward line. And what's very impressive about the way Cork plays, they rarely make skill errors when they're moving the ball. Their hand passing is very crisp and accurate. Their support play is good. They always have 2 or 3 options, 2 or 3 running options as well. And when you have players of the calibre of Sheehan and the boys inside, well, you need to get the ball in quick, and their movement up front is very impressive today. So a more impressive performance today. The only thing that would be part of the game that would be disappointing, I suppose, to Cork today is that in midfield Clare have done very, very well. Cork have not been as dominant as you would have expected them with the quality that they have in the midfield.
And right on cue, Clare win possession, but the final pass, the killer pass, isn't there, and Cork have turned it over. Gould down towards Colm O'Neill. Again, there are runs being made here, there and everywhere. Give it to O'Connor. They're trying to work the goal. This is Goulding. Shut down by Kevin Harnett, but still manages to get the shot away. And that's 2 points for Daniel Goulding since he came in off the bench. Just increasing the lead, extending the advantage. Quick hands from Cork. And Clare left chasing shadows. The gap now standing at 11 points.
Yeah, there's a maturity about this Cork forward line now. They've played together for quite a while. Donncha O'Connor has developed into a fantastic player over the last couple of years, and with Colm O'Neill back and Kieran Sheehan back, Daniel Goulding obviously back to fitness as well. They've played together quite a while, this unit, and playing with a lot of confidence. And you know, later on in the championship, they will be very, very difficult to beat, and they're probably worthy favourites probably at this stage.
Now, Clare trying to play a little bit off the cuff there as David Russell and Lawrence Healy tried to find a way through, but Cork setting themselves around the arc in front of their own goal, and Colm O'Neill drilling it in over the top towards Goulding, one-on-one with the fullback, flick back to Kerrigan. Kerrigan going around Hayes, who made himself big, made it difficult for Kerrigan, and that was enough to put him off and prevent perhaps a fourth Cork goal. He has been a busy man today, Joe Hayes, the Clare goalkeeper. Lawrence Healy again pushing forward outside to Shane Brennan, dropping it in towards his brother Gary, now on the edge of the square, claims possession, met by a swarm of Cork defenders when he landed. Cadigan once more just ripping the ball from his grasp, and a foul and a free out to Cork. But the physical presence and the organised nature of that Cork full back line make it so difficult to compete with them in close combat. And at this stage they are on their way to keeping another clean sheet. They've only conceded 2 goals in the last 9 games have Cork, as Conor Coonan decides to introduce a couple of subs. 19 Mark Collins and 25 Barry O'Driscoll are the players coming in. Kieran Sheehan and Fintan Gould, the players being withdrawn, and that means that Cork have now emptied their bench with a little less than 5 minutes to go. So this Munster senior final petering out to a fairly inevitable conclusion as Joe Hayes once more takes a few liberties but gets away with it. Lawrence Healy plays it outside to David Tubridy, man from the Doonbeg club, who hasn't really got into his stride in this game. In towards Gary Brennan, who was claiming that he was been fouled by Owen Cadigan. Eddie Kinsella not interested. And that is another free to Cork for the foul on Mark Collins this time. Clare today bidding, of course, to succeed where so many Clare teams have failed in the past to beat Cork in the championship. This the 35th time they've met down through the years in the provincial series. Cork leading the head-to-head 28-5, and victory number 29 now very much within reach. That booking for David Tubridy, just the 3rd yellow card Eddie Kinsella has shown in this match. As Clare decide to introduce a fresh face. Man coming in is Shane McNeilis from Kildysart. Started the Munster semi-final win at full-back against Limerick, was replaced by this man Barry Duggan. Duggan starting for Clare for the first time this year, and found the going pretty tough up against that Cork full forward line. As at the other end, Rory Donnelly tries to set Gary Brennan away. Alan Quirke has left his goal and hasn't got there. 2 men inside, chance of a goal surely for Clare. This is Brown, great block. Desperate defending from Cork, but they keep that clean sheet. Niall Brown it was who had the chance to pull the trigger, couldn't squeeze it through, and Alan Quirke there will be very thankful to his defence for regrouping so quickly. 2 minutes of normal time left as Colm O'Neill has a shot from way out the field. Clocks up Cork's 9th wide. Paul Early, less than 2 minutes to go. Time for your selection for man of the match.
Well, I think on the Clare side, Gary Brennan had a terrific game in the middle of the field, and he's gone into full forward at this stage. Laurie Donnelly in the full forward line as well, kicked 3 from play. Also, Michael O'Shea kicked 4 from play, played very well also. But I think in the Cork forward line in particular, I think their defence struggled a bit today. They got gave away 3 goal scoring opportunities, have conceded 13 points. But in the forward line, I think today for me played exceptionally well, particularly in the first half. Kicked 4 points from play. He's back to his best after a serious injury, but he also sprayed some wonderful passes. I think they've taken him off in the last few minutes, given him a rest, give a couple of lads an opportunity to come in and get some game time. But between himself and Colm O'Neill and Paul Kerrigan, had a very, very good forward line today. But Kieran Sheehan is my man of the match.
So Kieran Sheehan, 21 years of age, now sitting comfortably on the Cork bench, is the super value GAA man of the match, as Clare go hunting again for a goal that would, if nothing else, lift the crowd that has travelled the short distance here to Limerick for this novel Munster final, but nothing doing as we head towards stoppage time. And Cork appearing in their 9th Munster final in the last 12 years, about to clock up another victory. Aidan Welsh dropping back in front of Brennan, who is claiming and pleading with the referee that he was fouled. Again, Eddie Kinsella waves it away. Gary Brennan getting nothing soft, Paul, in there on the edge of the square.
No, that looked a free from here, and Clare fans not very happy with it. But Cork defence have leaked up, as I said earlier, 3 goal scoring opportunities. If Clare had taken a couple of those, it could have been a different situation.
Now a chance at the other end, perhaps, for the Cork sub. Barry O'Driscoll gets his shot away and drills it over the bar. And the Clare crowd not one bit happy. This is the biggest lead that Cork have built up at any stage in the game, and that certainly did look like a cast iron free for Gary Brennan at the other end, but not given. Clare have made a change. Micheál McDermott has introduced Conor Talty, son of the former Galway footballer Brian Talty. Conor, who plays his club football with Parnells in Dublin, and Shane Brennan is the player who's been replaced. So we'll have at least 3 minutes of additional time. We're into the first minute already, and again it's that long ball in towards Gary Brennan, who once more is clattered by Owen Cadigan, and once more has to pick himself up, dust himself down and get on with it. And this game now has lost its completely. Cork leading by 12 points and moving through the gears as they head downfield. Man on the ball is Mark Collins from Castlehaven. This is Paul Kerrigan. Poor pass intercepted by Ray Carey. Donnacha O'Connor. 2 and 3 Cork forwards inside, all rowing for it. Pass though hasn't been measured as good as it should have been. Niall Brown. And just to put the Clare performance or this result into context, they finished 3rd in the Division 4 league table this year, behind Fermanagh and Wicklow. Won 6 of their 8 matches. Have spent 5 seasons though in the basement of the National League. Their win over Limerick, their first championship success for 4 years. And unfortunately it just hasn't come together for them in this Munster final.
No, it certainly hasn't, but I suppose you can't measure success all the time by the number of trophies or winning trophies. You've got to look at progress that's been made. Has the team's performance improved during the season? And certainly in Clare's case, I think it has. They were competitive right up to the end. They almost got promotion from Division 4 of the league as the ball goes across the line there. But yeah, and they've been more competitive this year in this final than they were this time last year against Cork, when they were beaten, I think it was by 15 points. So they have made progress. They're a good bit away from obviously where Cork are.
And Eddie Kinsella says enough is enough. There was never really much doubt about it after those first half goals flew in. Cork regained the Munster Championship title after a 3-year break. They now head for the All-Ireland quarter-finals on the August bank holiday weekend, while Clare must be content with this experience and a place in the All-Ireland qualifiers. It's a 29th championship win for Cork over Clare, and the All-Ireland favourites return to Croke Park as Munster champions for the 37th time. It's finished here at the Gaelic grounds. Cork 316, Clare 13 points.
Liam Hayes, what do we learn about Cork from today's?
I think, you know, Cork could be happy. Conor Coonan will be very happy with the display, especially in the first half. They went very sluggish in the second half, but, you know, I think he decided himself, Coonan, to empty the bench quite early, so he sort of accepted at half-time that, you know, it was what it was. I think we learned that the Cork defence is porous. The full back line was quite iffy most through, especially in the second half, and while they had some chance up front, you know, people like Paul Kerrigan, you know, didn't have a great day. He got lots of possession, ran down a lot of alleys, created lots of chances, but some of his finishing was just disastrous.
An enormous score, Dara, from play, much more so than we're used to from Cork. Did that balance out the deficiencies in defence as identified by Liam?
Yeah, they kick well. Their kick passing, you know, is a feature of their game. But I think credit has to go to Clare as well. Look, they weren't going to win this game, but they made it competitive, you know, all the way through the second half. And for me, it wasn't a rout, which was, I suppose. Listen, Conor Coonan won't be happy this evening with some of the performances there. But look, it's probably a lot to work on, you know.
OK, we will have the presentation of the trophy and we'll have the post-match interviews and analysis when we come back after this.
SuperValu, proud sponsors, real supporters of the GAA Football All-Ireland Championship.
Take another look at the next motorcyclist you see and ask yourself, who's underneath? He's a dad. He's a brother. He's a son. He's an uncle. He's a best mate. He's for keeps. Now take another look at the fact that just under half of motorcyclist deaths and serious injuries are due to drivers. So take another look for motorcyclists coming from behind. Or when you're turning right. Or when you're coming out of a side road. Before you have to take a look at this. Be bike aware. Take another look. From the Road Safety Authority.
Life is a series of challenges. One of these challenges is that finance seems out of reach because you feel the banks aren't lending. At Bank of Ireland, we have credit available and we want to lend. In fact, we need to lend. Our business depends on it. So while times are tougher than before, we'll do everything we can to help you on your way. Bank of Ireland. For small steps, for big steps, for life.
Two things I need before the race. Music and the confidence to win. It's about getting my head in the right place. Seeing every stroke, every turn.
It's not just the flakes we wash out, it's the confidence we wash in. Head and Shoulders.
Head and Shoulders Active Sport gives me a cool head to keep my mind on track.
Get active with Head and Shoulders Active Sport.
I'm Anthony at GoGo, and this is my personal best. Chicken teriyaki, salad, no jalapenos. It's good food at its fastest.
I'm Holly Bleasdale, and my personal best is better. Low-fat Subway Club, or the salad, and just as quick.
It's very close. The fat and calories are both excellent results, and both offer one of your 5 a day. With 9 subs with under 5 grams of fat, everyone's a winner.
But you can't even handle the jalapenos.
I've got a sensitive mouth, all right?
Subway. Train hard. Eat fresh.
For a once-in-a-lifetime summer, do it justice with Sky Plus HD. Join now and get 3 months free HD, a free Sky Plus HD box, and free standard setup. Sky. Believe in better.
Aiken Promotions present Live at the Ivy Gardens, July 18th, Rufus Wainwright. July 20th, The Waterboys. And on July 21st, Lisa Hannigan. Tickets are on sale now.
a brazen costume for a cat burglar.
Yeah? Who are you pretending to be?
These are violent criminals that terrorize Gotham. Pain. Born and raised in hell on earth.
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Your wife said you were taking a cab home. My wife?
Only in cinemas.
Soon stay for us fan.
25% off if you're over 60. That includes frames and lenses, however complicated your prescription.
So when my car insurance is due, I usually check around online for a few prices, so I know I'm not paying over the odds. And then I call up on the phone to see if they could knock another few quid off, you know? Give it a try anyway. But this time round, I went to aviva.ie and I got a quote. It was a really good price. And then I saw there was 10% off for new customers like me if I bought online. No haggling required. I was really happy with that.
Get 10% off car insurance just for buying online. Get the Aviva deal.
A financial plan for every fan. Ulster Bank, proud sponsors of the GAA Football Championship.
Ulster Bank, an official sponsor of the GAA Football Championship, want to send you and a friend to Croke Park for a semi-final of your choice. The prize includes a pair of tickets, one night's hotel stay and dinner for two. It's all thanks to Ulster Bank. To be in with a chance of winning this prize, answer this question. Who did Kerry beat in last year's Munster football final? A. Clare, B. Limerick or C. Cork? Text GAA to 57199 and answer the question returned. You need to be 18 or over to take part. Terms and conditions apply.
So, as expected, Cork have beaten Clare. Fintan goal in the first half. And then Aidan Walsh, another run through the middle of the Clare defence and a fine finish. And then Paul Kerrigan's hand pass, a bit of controversy. Nicholas Walsh had the ball cross the line. Had their chances. The Cork defence repelled all goal-scoring opportunities. And it was left points to the likes of David Tubridy. But Cork, all their scores from play in what was a good day for the Cork forwards, and particularly bringing the likes of Daniel Goulding back as well. And there's Michael Shields receiving the Munster Senior Football Championship.
Good afternoon, Mahogany. Just quickly, I won't say much. Just thanks to the Munster Council, thanks to everyone up here in Limerick, thanks for all the Cork fans for travelling up here today. We look forward to seeing you all in 4 weeks' time as well in Croke Park. Special thanks to the Clare team. Best of luck in the qualifiers. You're a fine.
And so Michael Shields taking the Munster Senior Football Championship. Let's see the crowd, small crowd here today in the Gaelic grounds in Limerick to see 316 for Cork, 13 points for Clare. We saw the goals there, Aidan Walsh, one of the goals. And the points to Kieran Sheehan, our man of the match, and Colm O'Neill getting 4 points each. All the Cork scores were from play. David Brady, what did you make of this Cork performance?
I think it's hard to be critical on them, to be honest. You know, they did exactly what we thought they'd do and what they set out to do in the first and second half. It showed that they have 4 or 5 players to come off the bench. Like, we picked Kieran Sheehan today as man of the match with Paul Early and me, Mike in commentary. Like he was, but this guy wasn't supposed to start in the Kerry game. You know, that's only a month and a half ago, and he's come on now, he's man of the match. One thing Conor Cunningham will have is headaches in picking this team. But as we said, I don't know will he change it. I don't think he will change the first 15.
Well, will he change the first 15? Graham Canty missed out today after a late fitness test. Paddy Kelly was out of the team. Pierce O'Neill is there to come back in. And Daniel Goulding came in off the bench. Now, what does he do with Daniel Goulding, for example, given that he has been playing Nicholas Murphy or Aidan Walsh in a full forward?
Well, it's hard to see where Daniel Goulding's going to fit in straight away. The other two you mentioned, Paddy Kelly will probably slot in again back in centre forward because he's probably one of their main players, and Graham Canty as well, you know. But like David said, you know, Cork, you know, they have a big panel. They're probably one of the strongest panels in the country. And he emptied the bench today as well, you know, to give those guys early in the game as well.
We've seen there, Matt, the three top scorers for Clare and the full back line for Cork.
That's right.
Like there is potential there between Cadogan, Carey and Shields that, you know, they're not going to have it all their own way, no matter who to play in August Bank Holiday weekend, because there is certain, and they're not weak links, but there's kinks and lights for the team to say, right, we can beat Cork, but we have to beat their full back line.
Last year, of course, the absence of forwards cost Cork dearly, but Kieran Sheehan has returned. Just how good was he today, do you think?
He's a spectacular forward, and he's a player who always seems, you know, you always see him popping over an early score. You know, he's just a lively forward, and when he gets a chance, unlike, say, Paddy Kelly or Paul Kerrigan, he always looks like he's going to put it over the bar. He always looks like he's going to finish his good bit of work, and that's not common with all Cork forwards. But the thing that I think we're talking about is the real problem for Conor Coonahan and this Cork team is that I said at the start of the match, he's had one match in 8-week period. So he wants to pick a team on form, but how do you know your form when you've only had one match in 2 months? I mean, that's a ludicrous situation for a team manager to find himself in.
Well, let's go now and hear from the man of the match. Kieran Sheehan is with Kieran McSweeney.
And the Super Value Man of the Match from today's Munster final will be presented by Jackie Crowe from Super Value to Kieran Sheehan from Cork.
Kieran, well done.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Well, Kieran, you had a job to do here today, and you came out of the block strongly in the first half, and I suppose that was vital to today's win.
Yeah, it was very important. We got a couple of goals there in the first half, and they proved to be a big help there in the second half. I suppose Clare had their moments as well, and they came back at us. We were expecting a good, strong physical game, and that's what they gave us.
I suppose they never gave up, but I suppose those 3 goals in the first half, I suppose as a contest by half-time, it was really over.
Yeah, I mean, it was important for us going in at half-time to come out and start the second half as if it was the very start of the game, and that's what we tried to do. And luckily we got a couple of scores there at the very start of the second half as well, which kind of brought momentum into the second half for us. And I suppose we kicked a couple of scores then on top of that again, and we got away with it.
Well, a Munster title now in the bag, and it's a stepping stone toward, I know ultimately the All-Ireland is what you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's early days yet. It's great to get a Munster title, obviously, but you know, there's a lot to improve from on today's game, and I'm sure Conor will have a look at a lot of the stats. I mean, around the middle, I suppose, with Clare won a lot of ball there, and there's always room for improvement, so hopefully over the next few weeks we can improve on that.
Well, congratulations on the win today, Kieran, and well done.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Thanks.
Well, we'll be talking about whether Cork did keep the intensity going in the second half in just a few moments' time. And also reminding you another big game next week here on 3.
The Aircom Championship Challenge. Why not challenge yourself at experiencemore.ie?
Some of the world's finest courses are here, waiting for you. Are you up to the challenge? Short breaks start from just £79 per room.
Oh, I know what I feel like. Whom was it this time? I'm glad they don't know about this place. Think hiding it. Think galaxy.
That feeling of being there when Mars Fitz defied physics. Unbeatable.
We're in the thick of the action on Health 16 when Canavan fired it over.
I cried in Hyde Park as I saw them. 2 captains side by side, 67 years between them. I was there.
And I'll be there
this year to do
all over again.
The GAA Football Championship. Nothing beats being there.
The Premier League fixtures have been announced, and this season, you can be part of the action. You could win a fantastic trip for 2 to Old Trafford to see United take on one of their great rivals. For your free chance to win this amazing prize, free text United to 50015. That's United to 50015.
The human body exhibition has been extended due to public demand. The incredible Real Anatomy experience has attracted over 100,000 visitors to date.
Breathtaking, fearsome and quite beautiful. The Irish Tiger. The human body in all its intricate glory. The Irish Independent.
Come see this astonishing phenomenon for yourself. The Human Body Exhibition. Open every day from 10 a.m. Last entry 7 p.m. For more, visit thehumanbody.ie.
Keep the whole family entertained this summer with a free Sky Plus box when you join Sky TV. Watch sizzling shows whenever you want, as Sky Plus lets you record up to 185 hours and even pause and rewind live TV. Enjoy Sky's most popular entertainment channels and great kids channels, plus all your favourites from Ireland and the UK. That's great Sky TV for everyone. A free Sky Plus box, and you'll be ready for the digital switchover. Join Sky TV before the 2nd of August. Call us on 0818 71 6000. Sky. Believe in better.
Some days it's alright to just be yourself. To waste time. To stay in bed. To indulge yourself. Those days are some of the best days. The Lodge at Dimbeg, County Clare. Bed and breakfast from just €125 per person sharing. Days to remember.
Johnny Dooley looks at it, no, he blasts it, no, and he's got the goal! Which was Clare leading in the All-Ireland final.
People with sight loss don't want just to hear about the serious game of life. They want to live it. The barriers they face are in black and white. The solutions are in colour. The solutions are you and I. Please support the NCBI to provide vital services for people with sight loss to play the serious game of life. €7 a month, just 23 cents a day will help fund NCBI's vital services. Please call Save 1850 33 43 53 today.
If your business is making international phone calls, then it should be making them with Imagine, regardless of what country you call. Imagine can save you up to 60% every single time. So to cut your business costs, visit imaginebusiness.ie or call 1-800 93 80 80.
The new KFC Barbecue Rancher. Succulent barbecue marinated chicken breast barbecue sauce made to the Colonel's own top secret recipe.
At Liberty Insurance, we always start by giving you a quote you'll value. So when you call, you'll get a price you like, along with some incredible benefits, like better car replacement on all our comprehensive private car policies. If your car is damaged beyond repair, you can get the same model 1 year newer with 15,000 less kilometers. For a quote you'll value, call 1890-89-1890 or visit libertyinsurance.ie. Liberty Insurance. Insurance the way it should be.
SuperValu, proud sponsors, real supporters of the GAA Football All-Ireland Championship.
Michael Shields, captain in the absence of the injured Graham Canty, takes the Munster Senior Football title for Cork after their victory today over Clare here in Limerick. Expected victory, comfortable enough as well. But, Dara, we spoke earlier about whether Cork could be as ruthless as Kerry in their pomp would have been in a game like this. Kieran Sheehan said we came out and did it the second half the same as the first, but did they really?
They didn't. They weren't as effective as they were in the first half, but they did enough. You know, the scores they got in the second half. And on Kieran Sheehan, it's great to see a player coming back from a cruciate injury like that and play so well. You know, but Cork are a serious team, and they're probably there. Cork, Kerry, Dublin, and Donegal at this stage. You know.
Well, we'll have a look now maybe at some of the chances that they did miss, because they didn't add to the goal tally from the first half at all in the second half, David.
No, and I do think, Matt, that one thing is that every time Cork got a score today and a clockwise motion, they changed the forward line. Everyone stepped left and right, and I think that kind of had a certain effect. If you have a corner back playing out in the half forward line and Corrigan playing in the full forward line, I don't think it's their natural position. But credit to Clare now, they did defend very well at certain times, and you know, they got the block in, but I just think that overall, you know, I think it unsettles this Cork team a little bit if they have to go anti-clockwise after they get a score.
but it was backs to the wall for the Clare defence. And you got to give every man in that defence 100% credit, because here's Paul Kerrigan making a complete mess of this. But apart from that one, the Clare defence were really good in that second half. You know what I mean? They really fought to a man, and also they came forward. I mean, Kelly, centre back, came forward on numerous occasions. So it was a complete team performance from Clare in that second half, and you shouldn't take away from that when we are discussing Cork.
And if they'd taken their chances, David, as well, they did have a fair few goal chances in both halves.
They had a good few. You know, I just think it was a bit of a lack of inexperience, and you know, because the one thing they got the shots, but Cork seemed to be determined not to give away a goal.
They weren't lethal enough, David. They weren't lethal enough. They had good set-up motion, but they couldn't put the final shot away, Darragh, at any stage.
But what I noticed with Cork there today, they needed Clare to push them more, because you know Cork were really in a comfort zone in the second half there. They didn't have to push on any further, and I think if Clare even got a goal, we'd have seen more of Cork. We'd learn more about Cork, because you know the scores that Cork got, they got them a lot easier than the Clare scores. You know, look at the amount of work and horsing and hopping off guys. Clare have to get scores. You know, it's.
He probably should have crossed that ball over to the guy on the left-hand side, like Cork did in the first half. But you know, Clare, a Division 4 team, and they didn't really look like a Division 4 team today. They didn't look like Division 1. But you know, I think for Clare to progress and where they're going to go, I think they need to get promotion next year, Division 4 to Division 3, and play a higher standard of football, because they can play to a certain degree.
Now, there was one player who impressed all of you on the Clare team, and we highlighted him before the game, Gary Brennan in centre field. Talk to us a little bit about his performance.
He was like from the off, like obviously there was a lot of talk about him coming in before the game, and it's well known. It's a very hard thing to do to add up on that. Look at him here. He's a big horse of a man, like, and he led as well. You know, he made a couple of great bursts forward as well. You know, and he finished up on the edge of the square. Still, he never gave up, and he's got a big heart as well. You know, which is crucial for the likes of other guys looking up to him. Here he is breaking into it, and he's a big, for a guy 6'3" or 4", he's got a big engine as well.
I was possibly the all-round best performance on the field of both teams, and the man of the match award had to go to Kieran Sheehan, because you know he did get vital scores. He was a standout player, but the most overall best performance today probably was Gary Brennan.
Okay, I want to hear from the Clare manager, Micheál McDermott. He's talking to Kieran McSweeney.
Micheál, huge commiserations. What's the feeling like after that defeat out there today?
Disappointment, because we came in here feeling that we could actually put it up to Cork. 3 goals in the first half were a real killer blow, but the most encouraging point of it all, I know it was a 12-point defeat, but we played to the end. We emptied the tank out on the field. We gave everything we possibly could, and you have to take great pride in your players, because we are a Division 4 team. We're a team that's building. Cork are a Division 1 team, and a strong Division 1 team, and we have to learn from our mistakes today. Cork are now in the All-Ireland quarter-final. We still have an opportunity of getting there, and in 3 weeks' time it's a case of now Clare having to be ready for those qualifiers.
Thank you very much, Kieran McSweeney, talking to Micheál McDermott. And my thanks to our team here today for their analysis, to Liam and to David as well for joining us on the programme. We have another provincial final coming up next week. We're going to Hyde Park in Roscommon, where Sligo against Mayo promises to be a really entertaining and interesting game. And it's a final we look forward to bringing you here on TV3 1:30 next week. Join us for that. And just very briefly, did we see the All-Ireland winners here today?
Darragh answer that first.
I think they'll be in the shake-up. Yeah, it's too early to say, Matt. They didn't have to show much with their hand today, but certainly they are.
They're going to be there.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Okay, we'll enjoy watching it. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with you next Sunday. Good luck now.
SuperValu, proud sponsors, real supporters of the GAA Football All-Ireland Championship.
Chill Insurance, and I called these guys to get you a better deal on car or home insurance. Now, who's got the best price for me?
Chill Insurance, we'll take it from here.
Live music and horse racing for just €15. Live at Leopardstown presents 9 summer evenings of festival